Okay, so this isn't a review so much as it is just a rant, because there is nothing really to review. Imagine you have just stubbed your toe, the second worst pain known to man, with the exception of childbirth. Or at least so I'm told, since men can't have children, no matter what the crazies say. We will just have to believe girls when they tell us, and no sane man is going to argue that point. So, back to the stubbed toe. And obviously, the next thing on your mind is every swear word in every variation you can think of, because ouch just simply doesn't cover it. And that seems to have been the start point for this cartoon, minus the stubbed toe. It is just a pointless collection of swear words strung together with a storyline so wretched and debased that it isn't worthy of spending the time it would take to give it a thorough review. But before I get started, please consider subscribing, as I would really appreciate it. And if you like this content, give it a like. I have to wonder when I see a program like this, just how long society has got left before the gradual degradation we've been seeing becomes a torrent of sewage flowing down the metaphorical streets of morality, common sense and good taste. Because this program sickened me. It was everything that is wrong with the world right now. It had no sense of morality, not even a hint of good taste, and the sheer lack of common sense required to write this, let alone greenlight it for production, beggars belief. It isn't just that every other word used is a swear word. After all, we're pretty much all okay with a bit of swearing. The English language has been blessed with many ways to express yourself, and profanity and cursing is an important part of that cocktail of ways to make your feelings known. But if the censors got hold of this, the audio recording would just be one long bleep, because there is not enough actual dialogue between swear words to make something coherent. The sheer cynicism and postmodernist drivel espoused in every moment of this program chills me to the bone, because I can't help but wonder, is this what is being taught to our children? Do they all come home from university with years of this soul-destroying, spiritually desiccating, wanderless indoctrination rammed into their minds? There is no magic here, nothing uplifting. It is all cynicism and modern-day far-left talking points. There are communist pigeons that spray paint down with capitalism on Santa's sleigh. The relative of Rudolph the reindeer is completely full of himself because his nose glows, but he feels he can never live up to or get the approval of his famous parent, a typical modern angst. Every other sentence is a crass sex joke. Every character is a stereotype of what they would represent in real life. Nobody has any humility or self-awareness. They are all egotists who think they are the greatest things who ever grace the earth. It is such a hard slog to get through that I pretty much had to wire my eyes open like Malcolm McDowell in A Clockwork Orange. And my expression and reaction are basically the same. In fact, the only way you could ever get me to watch it again would require exactly the same treatment. Seth Rogen is a pathetic, humorless, unfunny hack whose best days are far behind him, and who seems to only manage to subsist on what is the loosest sense of the word comedy, making rubbish like Sausage Party and other gross-out stoner humour that had great appeal at one point, but now just appears as though the writers lacked the talent to actually write a joke. He is in fact far more well known these days for his Twitter rants and far-left agenda-driven meltdowns. He has, in short, made himself into the butt of whatever joke that Hollywood is peddling recently, whether it be white supremacy or representation. And Sarah Silverman is no better. What relevance she may have had has been lost on agenda-driven nonsense that a minority believe and the majority wish famous people would shut up about. It isn't that the majority of people in the West are ists and phobes, it is simply that they are sick of having this SJW far-left woke crap forced on them from every angle. And while the entertainment industry may not be the most damaging of offenders, since that accolade goes to the government and politics in general, they are influential and manage to bring these false messages to the masses, slowly poisoning their minds with what can only be described as cancerous, society-damaging lies and nonsense. And this brings me back to Santa Inc., because it is truly so bloody awful that I sincerely wish that it would fall into George Orwell's memory hole, because that would be a fitting place for it. It is so hubristic and offensive in every possible way that every moment spent watching feels as though you are having a frontal lobotomy without anaesthetic, or maybe having a large weight lowered slowly onto your chest, because it gets worse and worse as you go along. Trying to watch it is like crawling through Andy Dufresne's river of shit. It is just the most disgusting, vomit-inducing thing I have done for a long time, and unlike Andy Dufresne, who came out clean on the other side, After watching Santa Inc., you have to have a shower to wash off the stink of excrement that is the result of exposure to this crap. It made me almost believe that Kevin Smith's Masters of the Universe wasn't quite as backstabbingly terrible as I originally thought, because Santa Inc. takes everything good in the world and sprays it all the colours of diarrhea. It truly is the worst thing I remember watching in a long time, and I cannot advise against watching it more sincerely. It is a stereotype-driven, agenda-loaded, uninspired, uninspiring load of the stuff that billions of people flush down the toilet every day. And you know the crazy thing about this review is that I think I am being far more than fair. I think I'm giving the most balanced and sensible review you are likely to see, because no matter how much vitriol I spout, or how bad it is, and how disgusted it made me, and how I would rather hammer nails into my eyes rather than put myself through this torture again, I know that it is 100 times worse than I can possibly describe. The words have not been invented to express how soul-destroying and disheartening this program is, especially considering that there are people out there who might actually enjoy this drivel. It is simply cynicism taken to the next level. It's the complete breakdown of any kind of respect or reverence for any subject at all, especially Christianity. Told through an intersectional Hollywood agenda-driven lens that only values the nonsense opinions of the writers and the stars, who clearly don't give a shit about the traditional conservative values that are inextricably linked to Christmas. And as such, they have managed to make the most amoral, sickening, postmodernist load of the stuff that cows produce, and I don't mean milk, that I have ever had the misfortune to experience. It was truly excruciating to watch. In any case, I've had enough of this rot, and would like to move on to something much more Christmassy and uplifting. So I will leave it there, and I advise you guys to do the same. It doesn't deserve your valuable time. This has been Movie Suck, wishing you all have a great time this year. Signing out. Leave a like, share, subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the flip side.